Have we,
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
have we came up with an intro?
No.
We're just gonna say the normal "Welcome to Studio 7 podcast." No, it's Studio 7 pod. Yeah,
Studio 7. Yeah.
yeah, Studio 7 podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. You wanna take it away?
Hello, listeners. Welcome to the first edition of the Studio 7 podcast, featuring myself, Luciano D'Amato, and director Joshy Lee.
Hello.
So, our first port of call, I guess, is explaining why we're doing this.
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's just because we love talking about films, really.
Yeah, simple as that. So, with that over and out the way, I guess let's just dive right in and start talking about films.
Should we start talking about what happened recently with our predictions?
That's a good idea. Yeah, let's enlighten everyone.
So back when Quentin released his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's when it was, right?
Yes.
Obviously that is Quentin's love letter to Hollywood.
Right.
And then, however long later, The Irishman comes out, Martin Scorsese,
Mm-hmm.
and we were getting into a discussion where they're very similar in a sense for the filmmakers are playing it safe, but also showing their mastery.
Right. Yeah.
And then we seen that Guy Ritchie was coming out with his new film, and we were just joking around saying like, "Oh, this is gonna be his Quentin and Scorsese film where he's gonna basically go back to doing what he does best,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna talk about film." Went in. What does he do?
Talk about film.
Talk about film. And now David Fincher's doing the same.
Yeah.
He's making a film about Orson Welles and Citizen Kane.
Yeah. About the making of the movie, the original.
Yeah, I think it's
film,
about I think it's about the writer, like the quarrel between the writer and Orson Welles. I think
Right.
that's what it's about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, showing off his skills, but all around the themes of filmmaking,
Yeah.
and the film industry, which the gentleman, obviously, like you said, actually included lines of dialogue which gave viewers little tidbits of information about the industry from the inside. You know,
Yeah.
like lenses, terminology, things like that. So
yeah,
Guy Ritchie,
that was fun.
yeah, so he was quite on the nose with it. I guess Martin Scorsese in The Irishman, he kind of just did it by going back to his sort of textbook way of filmmaking, you know, that everybody's familiar with from films like The Goodfellas,
Yeah.
Casino, etc. And he just did like, you know, the epitome of that type of gangster film, American gangster film, and made it 3.5 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, feels like the final full stop in his sort of essay about gangsters.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I can't see him doing another gangster film, to be honest. I mean, unless it was
No.
completely different to what he's done before, like a different period, maybe a more modern gangster film. Otherwise, I think he said everything he can say on the topic.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the David Fincher film up here. It's called Mank.
That's it.
It's
Mank.
supposed to be
Right.
coming out this year, and it says that they're filming currently as well. And it says here, follows screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz. Development of Orson Welles' iconic 1941 movie Citizen Kane. Yeah, remember we were talking. Is it? There's the writer is his dad, Jack Fincher. But he passed away in 2003, so I think he's been sitting on this
For a while.
for a long while.
I wonder why now is the time.
Or maybe because everyone now is telling stories about Hollywood, so
He's like, yeah.
they're like chucking the money at him now. Like, go
Mhm.
on, David, make your
Mhm.
movie now. But yeah, it's got Gary Oldman playing Herman Mankiewicz, Lily Collins, Amanda Seyfried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting cast. He's not worked with any of those before, has he?
No. Yeah, very different. Might be seeing a new David Fincher.
Yeah. To be fair, I do enjoy that about him as a director. He very rarely casts actors he's worked with before.
Very rarely.
Mm.
I think the one excuse for that is Brad Pitt
Mm.
for Benjamin Button,
Mhm.
Fight Club.
Mhm.
Was he in another one?
Yeah. I've lost it though. Benjamin Button, Fight Club. No, that could be it.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Brad Pitt,
Fincher.
Fincher films. Oh my god. 7.
Yeah, of course there was
oh
another
my
one. Yeah.
days. One of my favourite
best
films.
one.
Right? What a plonker. Jesus. Yeah, 7, obviously.
Mm.
And then obviously he directed the
World War
third
Z.
act of
Yeah.
World War Z,
Yeah.
the reshoot.
And I think he did have a hand in rewrites in general for that film.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt begged him, supposedly.
Mm. I'd love to see the cut of the film with the
Before.
original ending, yeah, and without his
Well,
notes.
Yeah, well, that's what people are gutted about, aren't they? Because that's what they're looking forward to was the original ending, but then they went with something completely different from the books. So people are a little bit miffed.
But I think I remember reading one of his arguments for changing it was obviously the book came out quite a while ago. I think it's like over a decade old at least. So there's been like we had that surgence of zombie horror films about a decade ago, and obviously you've still got The Walking Dead going now and other things, and they've kind of used up all the tropes.
Yeah.
So David Fincher was like, yeah, you know, that ending is the book, and it might feel like the right ending to go with, but people have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rehash, you know, it won't be as interesting. So, and also the first and second act is very frenetic, and there's loads of gun battles, and you know they're traveling all across the world, and he's like, to just do that at the end, it wouldn't even feel like a climax because you've had all of that before. So his sort of methodology was to twist it round and do the complete opposite, you know, and make it like one location, you know, just the main actor and trying to, you know, resolve the situation and get rid of all the fluff. And I think it worked. But you can definitely see the fact that there's been loads of different hands on that film. It really doesn't feel like one person's vision.
Yeah, it really does. It came out in 2013, so that's like prime Walking Dead. Zombies introduced as the White Walkers in Game of Thrones
as well. Yeah,
load. Interesting.
So if you were gonna predict after Fincher,
don't do that.
who might be next to drop the resume update?
That's a good one.
I mean, I guess it's got to be a director who's working but not quite, you know, at the top of their game at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I would have said James Cameron, but obviously he's got his 3, 4, 5, no 2, 3, 4, 5 of Avatar coming out. So, but that, I mean, you never know. He might have some
epiphany.
Filmic references in there.
Yeah.
But he has been making some statements.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Another thing that a couple of these directors have in common. I feel like you could put definitely Scorsese and Cameron in the same boat of being very vocal about their dislike for the current trend of superhero cinemas.
Yeah.
They've been very tactful about it, but I feel like they've got more that they want to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Guy Ritchie, I've never heard or read anything that he said against that kind of cinema, but he's not dipped his toes in it himself. So that would lead me to believe it's not kind of his thing either. I'm talking like
I guess he kind of dipped into it with Aladdin,
yeah, true.
but I feel that may have also just been a way to go, right. I mean, that dude must have taken away a nice cut from
Mhm.
a film that's made over whatever it is.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it broke 1 billion.
Yeah. It did. Yeah,
Yeah.
1.1, almost 1.2 billion.
Yeah, so
Um,
I mean, that could have just been a nice paycheck, or he could have seen something in it. I definitely think his style brought something to it.
yes, I would say it did feel a lot very watered down though. And you
Yep.
could see Disney really wanted to keep their stamp on it.
Mhm.
They gave him a little bit of leeway, and it suited him, the story and the character Aladdin. The
Yeah.
sort of young street urchin, sort of who has to hustle and dive to survive. Like that, you
Yeah.
look back at his catalogue of films, like
That's what he
especially the
does,
early days.
really.
That's what he does really well,
Yeah.
and he did adapt that really well, I think.
Well, he basically just... That was King Arthur as well. That was just before. It's exactly
Wow.
the same.
Yes.
Exactly the same story.
100%. Yeah. Street urchin, orphan.
Yeah, comes a king.
Yeah. Hmm.
Very interesting. Maybe that was his. Maybe that's why they brought him in. They're like, oh, you basically did it.
Yeah,
Now
it's
let's
like-
just get rid of the
Yeah,
gore.
last year.
Yeah, get rid of the blood splatter, turn it into confetti.
Yeah, make it PG. Bish bash bosh, Bub's your uncle.
Add a CG monkey, and you go good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Should we say what we're planning to do this year?
Yes.
A few things that are coming out. Can't say everything.
No, of course not.
It's a little bit of backstory. We're a film production company and distributor. We distribute onto Amazon Prime. Go check out links and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we last year shot a short anti-knife crime film. It's about 12 minutes long, and we've also got a making of documentary as well to follow up.
Called Breaking the Cycle.
Breaking the Cycle. So that's going to be coming out hopefully around May, but it is going through festivals at the moment, so that release date can vary.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously look forward to this podcast bi-monthly,
Yeah.
every other week.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think it's going to be
yeah,
like
there's-
the first and the third week of each month,
yeah,
roughly. Yeah.
and then hopefully it'll be out Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing else that we can really say, is there?
Not without
Giving-
spoiling
Giving
it.
too much away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously you can check out all of our last films. Our recent film Watched is doing really well at the moment. Just got a release in Japan as well, which is pretty cool at the end of December. So yeah, any Japanese folk out there, give it a little watch.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to review as
Yeah.
well.
Yes, please. Please leave ratings.
Yeah.
Not too honest. But yeah, no, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I think that wraps up our first mini podcast
Yeah.
episode.
Little intro, what we're going to talk about, what we do.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed listening and joining us, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks' time.
See you soon.